Mega Man 2. This one is everyone's favorite Mega Man game, except mine and many others. But surely a game like this must have some fun facts and interesting stuff, or at least enough to fill a 7-minute YouTube video. With that being said, enjoy the show. To start things off, let's look at some glitches. In this game, some weapons can be fired off multiple times before using up an energy bar. Pausing the game before you deplete one of those bars will reset the countdown so you can fire infinitely with some weapons. This next one is just fun, but in the Woodman boss fight, if you pause when he jumps, he will jump again, which is pretty hilarious. There's also some fun stuff with Time Stopper in this game. In Woodman stage, after you beat the first Frainder, use the Time Stopper and go to the next screen. Normally there would be 2 more Frainders, but since you use Time Stopper, they won't spawn. The last one I don't really think is a glitch, but I wanted to bring up briefly. When using Time Stopper before entering a boss room, you can get them stuck at the top until it runs out, which is pretty funny. Beyond this, it has no practical application. Now, there is a lot more glitches to Mega Man 2, but it has some of the most fascinating glitches in the series, and I don't think I can do them justice here. So just like last time, I've linked some videos by people smarter than me that talk about Mega Man 2's glitches, and who knows, maybe I'll make my own Mega Man 2 glitch video someday. Moving on to regional differences, we have a really bizarre thing, which is that the Japanese release is full of typos, most of which got fixed in the international release. Next is box art, which is definitely an improvement here in America, though Mega Man wields a pistol instead of an arm cannon. Apparently the artist Mark Erickson was told Mega Man used a pistol, so that's what he drew. The Japanese art here is better than it was before, but it's still not that great. So, that just leaves Europe, which had the best box art last time, but this time, it's hideous. But Germany got its own box art, which is pretty surprising. Not that I don't associate art with Germany, I just think of a very unflattering artist. Lastly in this section is the title screen, which has 2 differences. The first one is the lack of difficulty select in Japan. You see, the Japanese thought themselves as the most elite and powerful ethnic group. You see, the Japanese thought of themselves as the most elite and powerful gamers. They thought that most people outside of Japan would be too bad at video games to beat Mega Man 2. So in the international release, they put in a normal game difficulty, which just buffs Mega Man attack by 2 and cuts enemy health in half. The other change is the flavor text, and it reads, Dokuta Rairi no Nazo. This translates to Dr. Wily of Mystery, or The Mystery of Dr. Wily. Interestingly, the pre-release does not have this subtitle. Speaking of the pre-release, we have a few other screenshots from it. This picture is on the back of the US box, and it's an early version of Woodman stage with these blocky trees. The other one is a picture of the boss select, and it's not too different, except for Crashman's name, which is shown as Clashman. But this is probably just a typo in an early build, except for the fact that the final Japanese release used the Clashman name. So what's up with this? Is it Clash or Crash? Well, I have a feeling it has something to do with the fact that the Japanese language does not have a la sound. So when spelling foreign words with la, they use ra instead, which led to some translation issues. I have a feeling that the Clashman name is the correct name, as it was used in the Game Boy version. But who knows, as other games in America use the Crashman name. I also wanted to mention that in Japan, Dr. Light is known as Dr. Wright, possibly for the same reason. One thing you might also notice is that on the boss select screen, Quickman's boomerang overlaps his portrait. This was actually done to mark him as a harder stage than the other ones. On the subject of Robot Masters, this is the first game where they started doing something quite interesting, taking fan submissions. All of the game's Robot Masters are taken from fan submissions from across Japan, so that's cool. But we do have some very interesting early designs, so let's take a look at some of these. First we have these guys, who I don't really think amounted to much, except for this one, who kinda looks like Shadow Man. Next, we have concept arts for water bosses, which are all pretty bad. Believe me, I find Faucet Man as funny as the next guy, but I only think the last 2 are any good, and so did Capcom, because that's the design we got in game. These Airman and Quickman designs are also pretty good, but I think my favorite ones are in the middle. Man, Flashman couldn't catch a break. I don't think either of these designs are all that great, but one is definitely better than the other. Huh, Metal Man's concept art isn't that bad, but it isn't that great either. I also have no idea what a Barga is, besides a city in Italy. Wait, German box art, Italian city, Japanese game. Germany, Italy, Japan. I feel like there's a joke I can make here, but I just can't think of it. Anyways, now we have a whole smorgasbord of nature-themed robot masters. Well, I'm not sure if Kong Man and Iron Man are very nature-themed. Though, I do like Green Man and Hornet Man, and I think Worm Man is the funniest thing in the world. Not much to mention about Crash Man, leaving us with Heat Man, who literally has a cigarette-smoking concept idea. Fun fact, Pump Man, Wind Man, Hornet Man, and Drill Man all got to be bosses in later games, and Plasman and Smoke Man got considered in later games, although they all look different. The end of this video is some more pre-release stuff. Here we have some pictures of both Rockman 2 and Mega Man 2 prototype cartridge. This one is Woodman with a burning hand and leaves on his stomach, which is really bizarre. Lastly, we have some cut enemies and redesigns. First, we have these metal generators that were originally going to be used in Crashman stage, and it would have spit out metals. These last ones are just concept art and are really weird looking. It's probably a good thing these never made it into the game. Lastly, we have this enemy, who had a magnet on his head and looks like he would have pulled rivets out of the wall to attack Mega Man. Huh. Well, that's it for today. A lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. I know it's been over a week, but I have schoolwork that I had to do, and I want to keep making these videos so it's a bit of a tight schedule. So I'm going to try and upload videos on the weekends instead of on Friday. Thanks for watching to the end, and if you liked it, leave a like and consider subscribing. If not, then our path ends here. Bye.